Tiana Sermons reporting for Kids First, and today I am speaking with co-directors Walt Dohrn and Heitz. This dream team has worked on the entire Trolls franchise and are back with another hilarious, fun, and entertaining film for all generations to enjoy. Mr. Dohrn is a writer, director, animator, musician, and actor who has worked on projects such as SpongeBob SquarePants and Shrek. Mr. Heitz is the director who also works on movie art and animation. He's known for Megamind, the Madagascar franchise, Mr. Peabody, and Shoreman, among other projects. Well, my name is Tiana Sermons. I'm reporting for Kiss First. It's super great to be speaking with you both. I got to view the movies in theaters. I absolutely loved it. Had a great time. Let's just roll right into it. So, Mr. Heist, the Trolls are back in their third movie installment, complete with a new storyline, a wedding, family secrets, and the task of course, getting the band back together. What was the inspiration of having the storyline be about Branch's hidden family?
So yeah, the idea for this actually started coming together back on Trolls 1, right? Walt, you and
Yeah.
Gina Shea, our producer, started talking about like, well, maybe in the future we'll get to explore Branch's past a little bit and understand where he came from and why he kind of sees the world the way he sees the world. So that idea kind of was something that was being tossed around pretty early on. And then after Trolls World Tour came out, it just felt like maybe it was the right time to dig into that. And, once we sort of all experienced the pandemic together and quarantining with our families, or maybe separated from our families, it just felt like the right time to tell a story about family and what those dynamics can look like.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I love that you said that about like coming out of COVID and the whole message of family. Definitely gives me a new take on the movie.
Yeah, there's so many ups and downs, but as long as you kind of work together and accept each other through the ups and downs, you can come out stronger on the other side.
And Mr. Dorn, speaking of inspiration, I understand that one of the characters was actually based on one of your own relatives. Can you talk a little bit about the character and what the connection was for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. And, we do try to make these movies, they really come from a personal space. And when we decided that Branch has an older brother, kind of took inspiration from my own older brother, who seemed like he was 10 feet tall. And he was kind of wild and dangerous, and he didn't really adhere to social norms. So we thought that might be a nice thing for Branch's brother, who's kind of lived out in isolation for 20 years since the band broke up. He doesn't really operate that way. And then we started talking about casting, and that's when Eric Andre came up, because he's got that crazy wild energy, and he's bigger than anything. He's just so wild and funny, and he reminded me of my brother a little bit. So it's a good question, and again, thanks to my brother, we have this other older brother.
So Mr. Heights, Trolls Band Together has a whole new tone, especially coming from World Tour, where they had all the different music genres. And now we kind of almost have some the old school mix, some new school music. So what were some of the things that you feel would shock viewers with this new film?
I think to me, one of the things that felt like it would be the most maybe shocking or surprising would be the Mountrageous city. This giant New York scale city that is so different from the Trolls world and so different from anywhere they've been before. And we thought it would feel like very much a fish out of water kind of thing, where all of a sudden they're just swallowed by this giant city. So that was a lot of fun to sort of play into and to showcase the types of people that live there, and this sort of like teenage party town that's just obsessed with fame and celebrity, and it just felt so different from the Trolls themselves, but also any of the other things that we've seen before.
Yes, and that was definitely one of my favorite of like the settings because, like you said, it's a New York scale city. It's so vibrant and so like technical versus the troll worlds where they're more like almost like island areas of flowers. And I
Yeah,
love that you got to incorporate that whole new setting into the world of the trolls.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And just speaking about Mount Rageous, Mr. Dorn, Amy Schumer, and Andrew Reynolds play the villains, Velvet and Veneer in Trolls Band Together, who were my personal favorites. What makes these villains so unique to the film?
Oh, yeah, another great question. There's that old saying, we don't know who said it, but your movie is only as good as your villains are. And everybody loves a villain because it's so cathartic, I think. And so it was really fun to go, all right, who could be a great villain in a troll movie? We started with, oh, what if they were lip syncers? But that's not enough. So we go, oh, but not only they lip sync, but they can steal the Trolls' talent, So like, okay, that's where the idea came from. Then we started thinking about how the audience today are obsessed with being famous, but they don't want to put in the work, like to actually be a famous person, to be a songwriter, working with Justin, all these guys, to be an artist. You have to put a lot of hours, a lot of work into it. So we thought, well, that's a real villain, someone who's too lazy to do the work. So we thought that would be fun. And again, working with Amy Schumer and Andrew Reynolds, we always wanted to work with them, and we want our villains to be funny. It's important. Yes, they're a threat and they cause danger, but even more important is that you can't wait till they're back on screen. You can't wait to
Right.
see what they'll do and say next. So I'm with you. I love those characters.
Yes, of course. And so, Mr. Hess, how would you describe what, like, in a sense, makes Trolls Band together not only super special on its own, but also just necessary for the.
I think it's definitely the next step for Poppy and Branch, and this whole franchise is based on Poppy and Branch's relationship and where their journey is taking them. So all of these adventures that they go on are there to help strengthen their relationship together. And so I think this movie does that. I think it kind of takes them to the next step, and they get to learn more about what makes each other. They get to Poppy gets to learn more about Branch, this big secret that he's been hiding, and he gets to find out that, oh, there's more to Poppy than I ever knew too. So I think for that reason it was super necessary, and we were excited to do something that really got to delve into boy bands and the different styles and eras of boy bands, and get to kind of celebrate that piece of pop music, and there's more to this movie than just boy bands, obviously, but that was a
Right.
really fun thing for us to dig into.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, especially being in the theaters. I also watched it with my mom and just being able to know all the songs, hearing the different boy band references. It was so exciting for me. I had an amazing time watching.
Awesome.
Oh, thanks, Tiana.
Yes. And just for one last question, there were just so many like new and fun elements from the writers, the voice actors, so many different aspects included in this film. I'm sure even the behind the scenes moments were amazing. So just overall, why should people go watch Trolls Band Together?
Oh, I think number one is because you will feel good. It makes you feel joyful just watching the movie. We always have this hope that you feel better after watching the movie than you did going in. It really makes you feel good. That you laugh, you dance, you sing. There's some real emotional moments in there. It takes you to places you've never been. So really, I want to say that you'll feel better when you watch the movie.
Yeah, and I think it's a great movie for a shared experience too, whether that's sharing it with family at your house and watching this new sing-along version that's out now, which is really
Yeah.
exciting for us. We love a good sing-along, or seeing it in the theater. It's just that shared experience with people, relating to the universal things that I think we can all relate to about family and acceptance, and also just sharing in the joy of you know of fun music and new worlds. I think is that's to me why I think people should go watch it.
Yes, well, I definitely recommend for people to go watch those as well. Like I said, I got a chance to watch it. I absolutely loved it. I know everyone in the theater, I heard a lot of people singing, a lot of people cheering, so I know they loved it as well. Just kudos to you for making such an amazing movie to add on to the Trolls franchise, and I cannot wait to see what's next. That's all for this review for Kids First. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our next reviews or interviews. Again, I'm Tiana Sermons. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.